What's going on YouTube? This is Matt the Lawn Care Little Guy, and today we are going to be talking about something that's very close to me and something you probably do not know about me. If you gathered it from the title, we are going to be talking about tinnitus. Do any of you have tinnitus? It is crazy. For those of you that don't, maybe you're a young man, maybe you're a little bit older like me, like 42, maybe you're even older than me and you've been dealing with tinnitus for a long time. But tinnitus is what many consider to be ringing in the ears. It's chronic. It doesn't go away. There's no cure for it. And there's many causes from it, but one of the most popular causes is hearing loss. Okay? So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, and I'm going to give you some facts and figures about our industry, the lawn care industry, and why you need to protect your hearing while you have it. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so what's my story about tinnitus? Well, a lot of you guys know I've only been mowing lawns for about 4 years now, okay? Well, actually a full 4 years, and then I'm fixing to start on my 5th. Well, I've had tinnitus for a long time, even before that, and it started way back in the military. See, my first career choice was, well, in the military, it was vehicle maintenance. And in vehicle maintenance, you use a lot of very loud tools, and they're in a very confined space many a times. Have you ever used an air ratchet? It's awfully high pitched, isn't it? Sometimes that would be very close to me, and I never used hearing protection because I didn't really understand why it was so important. And people told me, my sergeants, my supervisors, they always got on to me for not wearing hearing protection. And now, as an older man, I have a full understanding because I'm experiencing the effects of it. But not only from vehicle maintenance, but I also, from 2006 to now, I work around aircraft on Air Force bases. I work with very loud equipment, PTOs, trucks running high RPMs, and then also aircraft engines running, some of them very close to me. So I've continued to expose myself to these loud noises. However, unlike my vehicle maintenance days, I'm very good about using my hearing protection. Now, let's move on to lawn care, okay? Because I've already got this condition, this ringing in my ears, and I will tell you this. I didn't even know that that was abnormal. I thought that everybody had ringing in their ears. I thought that it was just, I thought people were talking about me all the time. Hey, are you superstitious? Have you ever heard that before? Your ears must have been ringing because we were talking about you. Well, it's not superstition. If your ears are ringing, there's usually a purpose behind that. A lot of the things can be loud noises. That's what mine are. There's other things as well. I'm not going to get into that because I'm just going to stick with my experience, okay? But, yeah, it's not superstition, guys. It's a real thing, and it can get worse. Sometimes it can be temporary, like when you go to a concert and you're exposed to really high decibels for a fairly decent amount of time, and then you leave and your ears are ringing for a little bit. Sometimes it goes away. Maybe you're that person. But I want to let you know, if you continue to do that, it's not going to go away. You're going to cause permanent damage to your ears, okay? So like I said, I'm moving along to lawn care, right? Well, let me give you some facts and figures about decibels, okay, and what is harmful to us and what isn't. I'm going to have to dig into my my little notepad here, my electronic notepad, and then I'm going to turn the camera around, okay, and just follow along with me. A normal decibel level for conversation is 60 decibels. Oops, how about I erase that? dBs, okay? That is normal conversation. All right, that's what most of us talk out. So it isn't until 85 decibels, decibels, that we start to get damage to hearing. All right, I'm going to keep on going. So now you have 85 decibels, that's damage to hearing, and that is with 8 hours of exposure. Stick with me, I'm going somewhere, guys. And then every 3 decibels, you need to cut this time by half before you start getting damage to your hearing. You understand what I'm saying there? So if we actually did the math on this, right? If you just go up 3 decibels, you can only be exposed 4 more hours. All right? And then if you actually went up to 91 decibels, then that's 2 hours. So how does this relate to lawn care? I hope you guys are taking notes. 60 decibels normal conversation, 85 decibels damage to hearing with 8 hours exposure, and after 8 hours exposure, and then every 3 decibels it cuts your exposure in half before you start experiencing damage. So where's our lawn care at? Well, the lowest decibel rating is 90. I keep on doing that. BDs. My daughter does that all the time. She mistakes D's for B's and B's for D's. Whatever I said. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a lawnmower, right? It even said rider lawnmower on this. So that means that from 85 to 90, we've got 5 decibels difference, which is going to be about, we're going to cut it in half, right? So 85 to 88, we're cutting 8 hours into 4 hours. From 88 to 91, 4 hours now equals 2 hours. So without hearing protection, we can run a lawnmower, and this is a riding lawnmower, for 2 hours before we start causing damage to our hearing. That's the best case scenario in our industry. How about 96 decibels? That's not dollar signs. It could be dollar signs, right? For a weed eater. What does that do to our time if we don't have hearing protection? That cuts it down to 30 minutes. We can run our weed eaters for 30 minutes without hearing protection. And then for our leaf blower, it's going to be 96 to 115 decibels. I'll just say leaf blower. It also put chainsaws in here, but we use leaf blowers mostly, if you're just a lawn guy. That means you have 15 minutes to 30 seconds before you start damaging your hearing running a leaf blower. How many of you guys have been out there running a leaf blower for longer than 15 minutes, or certainly longer than 30 seconds? You've probably done some damage to your hearing. Good job on that. I didn't listen either, so don't worry, don't feel too bad. Okay, so how can we make this better, right? Well, the obvious thing is wear hearing protection. Wear hearing protection, right? So what does that do? Well, every hearing protection has a decibel rating on it. The ones that I use have a 30 decibel rating. That does not remove 30 decibels from 96 and make it 66, and that's okay. That is not how that goes. There's an equation for this. What you do is you take 30, you subtract 7, which equals 23. Then you take 23, you divide it by 2, and that gives you 11.5. And then you subtract that 11.5 from the 96. What does that give us? That gives us 86, 85, 84.5. 84.5. Is that safe, guys? Yes, that is absolutely safe, because at 85 decibels we can have exposure for 8 hours of time. Okay? What if it went over to 86? Well, we just have to calculate that in and reduce our exposure, right, before we start damaging our hearing. Now, that, I will tell you this 30, this is one of the heaviest hearing protections you can have. That's the over-the-ear kind, and they're big and thick, and they're really, really good. So that's the better stuff. I know a lot of you guys just use earbuds, and you guys listen to music, right? Well, I want you to know many of those things are not rated as hearing protection. That is not the purpose of that equipment, okay? Some of it is something like what is the IsoTunes? That actually does have a decibel reduction rating, or a noise reduction rating. It's actually in RR, noise reduction rating, and I believe it's either a 23 or a 27. Okay, but if you do not have earbuds that have a noise reduction rating, then you do not have hearing protection. I'm not saying that it does not reduce noise, but what I'm saying is it's not going to be as effective as you need it to be to reduce the decibels that we work with to adequately protect your hearing. And most of us, I know, are working 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day. Okay? So make sure that you are protecting your hearing. All right? So here's another thing. What else can we do? What happens when it exceeds it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, what if we took this number and we used the 115 minus 11.5? What if we were at the top of the scale? Not all leaf blowers are going to be at the top of the scale, but what if we were? What's our noise reduction rating? What does that reduce it to? We're not even below 100, are we? Yep. We're at 104.5. We still have to reduce all the way down to where we almost wouldn't even be productive if we had to limit our exposure based off of that. So what do we do, guys? What do we do? Well, there's something you can do. You can use double hearing protection, okay? Now, when you use double hearing protection, it does help. What it does, protect, is it'll give you another 4 to 8 decibels reduction. So this could actually be 100.5, or it could actually be 106, or I'm sorry, 96.5. That's still pretty high. We still have to limit our exposure. That's how dangerous it is, the stuff that we are working with. Okay. So I'm going to put this back on me for now, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story, okay? I'm going to tell you some of the symptoms that I have of my tinnitus, all right? And then what I've done is I've actually found an app that puts out frequencies, and I am going to run on this, for 1 minute, I'm going to talk to you, and I am actually going to mix in the ringing that I hear in my ears so that you can hear and you can experience for yourself something like what tinnitus is like, okay? Because if you don't have ringing in your ears and you are not protecting your hearing, which is one of your major 5 senses, one of your 5 senses, guys, you don't get these things back. That's why I'm making this video, is because it's been horrible on me lately, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start buzzing right about now. And now you know a little bit like what it's like to have tinnitus, ringing in your ears. What are my symptoms? I tell you, when me and my wife watch TV, I'm constantly saying, baby, what'd they say? Baby, what'd they say? Sweetie, what'd they say? Sometimes when my children are trying to talk to me, I'm like, baby, use your words. I need you to talk to me. I need you to talk so I can hear. When we're in public, I remember one time we went on a vacation, right? And we were trying to check in, and the lady behind the counter, I couldn't hear a thing she was saying. I just saw her lips moving. Eventually, after telling her like 2 or 3 times, I'm sorry, sweetie, I can't hear you. I turned my ear to her. I'm sorry, sweetie, I just can't hear you. And she just wasn't speaking up, so I could hear her. And I just looked at my wife and said, I can't do this. I can't do this. What else is it? When I'm riding in the car, the wind noise is crazy. The wind noise with the ringing and everything. I can't hear anything in the car. Sometimes, at one time at work, I got accused of ignoring somebody, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it. And I don't intentionally ignore people. They said, Matt, they always ignore me. I'm like, no, I don't. I probably didn't hear you. I get accused of ignoring people. What else is there? When I read, because I love to read my Bible, right? When I read, I can't focus because that ringing is just constantly in my ears and it's loud. So I can't focus on things very well. it increases my anxiety, right? Because it's frustrating to me when I can't hear people, or when I can hear them, but I just can't make out the words that they're saying, right? I'm probably sounding a lot like your grandpa or something right now, but I'm not meaning to do that. But I'm just telling you guys that it's real. Now, I don't know if the buzzing is over yet. I don't know if I've talked for a full minute, but seriously, guys, I'm making this video because I'm thinking about getting hearing aids. But I am a retired military member. I have not gone to my VA yet to actually apply for disability in that way, but I'm hoping that I get it, and I'm hoping that they'll actually pay for hearing aids, because I got a guy at church and he said he got hearing aids and the ringing went away, and he's like, I could never, I don't know how I live that way. People commit suicide over tinnitus. This is really a real thing, guys. And so this is probably more of a serious video than you guys were probably anticipating, but I'm making this because I'm going through it right now. Not just now, but right now, because I want to make some changes. I want my life to be better, and I want my life to be different. And I'm telling you guys because I don't want you guys to be in the position that I'm in. In our industry, in the lawn care industry, we are not very responsible with our hearing. We really aren't. So if you're young, or if you're older, or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you still got your hearing, listen to me. Listen to me. Protect your hearing. Do whatever it takes, okay? Do whatever it takes, unless you like that buzzing that you just heard on this video. So anyways, that's probably more of a rant this week than it is a video. But nonetheless, guys, stay safe. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Protect your hearing. And my name's Matt. I'm the Lawn Care Little Guy. And I'm telling you, that's what's up.